Welcome to Health Coach for Women. Intentional living for more happiness and fulfillment in your everyday life with your host, Marsha Roopchand Walker. Join Marsha as she shares her own personal wellness journey, as well as stories from our guests that will enlighten and inspire you to move towards better health and happiness. Now, here's your host, Marsha Roopchand Walker.
Hello, and welcome to another episode of Health Coach for Women, a podcast where we explore alternative and holistic solutions for better health and wellness. And I am your host, Marsha. Now, before we get started, please share, like, and subscribe. Optimism is a happiness magnet. If you stay positive, good things and good people will be drawn to you. By Mary Lou Retton. All right. Now, today's topic is why are periods so irregular? Why? Right? I'm sure many of you have experienced this at some time. Now, there are various reasons for irregularities in our menstrual cycle. And one of those reasons is due to hormonal imbalance, right? Hormonal imbalance. And if you remember, if you've noticed from the previous episode, as well as if you read my article in Brains Magazine, I talked about that, right? I talked about the different endocrine disruptors, which is in our food ingredients, right? That can impact your menstrual cycle, all right? So we know with the hormones that they play a crucial role in regulating our menstrual cycle. And the body produces the estrogen as well as progesterone that can interrupt the normal cycle that we experience. Now, stress is another factor, right? Just to go back, let me just go back for a moment. When I talked about you would have to go back and look at the previous episode when I mentioned all the different disruptors. Okay, you can find one of those episodes, and also in Brains Magazine, where I cover in detail the different hormone disruptors. Right, that's in food. We also have to look at our household products. Right? That also could be causing us to have hormonal imbalances. So we need to really get more into natural thing, maybe like oils. Instead of using chemicals, we can use things like oils and things like that. All right, so the other one I wanted to discuss with you is stress. Oh my gosh, stress is wreaking havoc on so many people, right? These high-level jobs that's causing so many stress for people, just jobs in general, right? You know, just your job in general. And because now people are having more workloads on their plate that they have to do, getting the same pay, you're not getting an increase in pay. And all of these things can play a factor in our regular lives, right? And so we need to find an outlet and finding ways to reduce stress, because we already know that stress is the main cause for illness and disease, as well as it being the silent killer. So let's do more to reduce stress in our lives. And how can we do that? We can do that by taking time to relax, right? Taking time when we get our vacation time. Stop being a workaholic. Take a vacation, right? That's another episode I talked about, the benefits of taking vacations. There's actually health benefits in that, okay? So doing that is important. Taking walks in nature, finding ways to just find more calm and relaxation through meditation, breathing, breath work, exercises that can help you de-stress, Tai Chi, or just simply walking. Okay, just simply walking. Now, PCOS is another one, right? Another reason for menstrual irregularities is PCOS, which is polycystic ovarian syndrome. And this is a hormonal disorder that can cause enlarged ovaries with small cysts in the on the outer regions. And this condition now often leads to irregular periods, of course, along with other symptoms such as excess hair growth, acne, and as well as weight gain. So how can we combat PCOS? So there are a few changes that you can make that will help you with PCOS. And some of those I have here on the list is doing exercise, right? Exercise is one of them to help you to lose weight because we know that with PCOS, you can tend to gain weight, but you can do exercise, right? Whether it's walking or whatever. Another one is diet change. You'll see in almost every episode, it always come back to some of the basic things, right? Diet, exercise, okay? And so dietary changes such as reducing your carb intake, reducing your carb intake and all those carbonated drinks, white bread, pasta, cereal, cookies, etc. All right. And so you want to go with more protein, whether it's, that's your choice if you eat meat or not, but more, if you're going to have meat, I would say recommend more grass-fed, okay, grass-fed meats, and naturally organic chicken, right? Free-range chicken, organic products, period, natural. And so you want to eliminate that. So also, right, you can switch up it's not as complicated as it sounds, although it can sound like that because it's different, right? You have to make some changes if you want to have positive outcome, right? And so that's what it's all about, guys. It's all about making those positive changes so that we can have the results that we want. So we can't overcomplicate it. We can only just try to simplify it and do our best. And so when we fall short, right? When we fall short, we just need to pick back up and keep moving forward. And that's what it's all about. So I mentioned exercise, right? Doing exercise to help with reducing the weight, as well as eating more plant-based foods and eliminating those foods that are bad for you, such as the carbonated drinks, high fructose corn syrup, all of these other added ingredients. We need to stay away from that. Now, the next one that you can help for PCOS is taking supplements, right? And, I'm always talking about you can take supplements to help with your health, such as omega-3s, right? They also have plant-based omega-3s, all right? So omega-3s, you can take that chromium, psyllium, vitamin D, okay? Vitamin D, as well as calcium, vitamin B complex. That's important, getting all of your, okay? And so you can take these supplements as well as herbal products, right? And so with that, you want to definitely consult with your herbalist when you're taking any type of herbs, because based on your condition, if you're diabetic or you're on blood thinner, there's certain things you can't take, like maybe such as St. John's wort, right? So now with PCOS and herbal supplements, they're saying that researchers found Vitis angus castus and Simi C. Fuga, don't know how to pronounce it. I'm butchering it. I don't know. I'm trying to sound it out syllable by syllable. So forgive me for that. Semicifunga. I don't know what this one is. It's Semicifuga racemosa to be the most effective in managing irregular ovulation that could result in infertility. Also, what's also been helpful is getting massages, right? Massages also help with the body, not just moving the fluids, but it can also help bring relaxation and calm, right? And getting that done is also a good way that they have these different treatments that there's so many alternative and holistic things that you can do, right? That can help you. But this podcast is only 30 minutes. So, but you can manage your PICOS, right? It can be managed. And so with some patients, you can relieve your symptoms doing what I recommended as far as doing your exercise or changing dietary changes, as well as getting those massages. There's different healing therapy that you can do, that you can take as well. There's different things such as acupuncture, Reiki, if you are into Reiki. There's different things, right? And so people have different options and choices that they can make when it comes to healing their body. And so I'm not against any of them. Some people have different views on it, to each his own. Okay, so now another one that they talked about is CBD oil. Now, I love oils. So, okay, so they're saying that including PICOS, CBD is derived from the cannabis sativa plant, but they're saying that this is a good treatment. Studies with CBD shows that it may help with anxiety and insomnia, okay, which is common associated with people with the condition of PICOS. All right, so let me move on to now probiotics, right? I always talk about probiotics too when it comes to things we can do to improve our gut health, pre and probiotics. But they're saying researchers are now linked alterations in the gut. Well, we know this already, which may help with many diseases, including obesity, heart disease, and diabetes. All right. There was a study done, an animal study done, that it shows that these alterations may even affect sex hormones, including androgens and estrogen, suggesting that the microbiome may play a role in developing PICOS. Okay, so we need to look into some natural ways that we can relieve the condition, because we know with hormones, with these irregularities in some people, it affects the ability to reproduce and have children for some people, right? May have infertility issues. All right. And I went over that, I covered that, and that was it on PICOS. So now I want to move on to the thyroid disorders. Let's talk about that. All right. So, with thyroid, that it is a gland located in the front of the neck here. All right. And so people can be impacted. Now, the thyroid, just so you know, that it's part of the endocrine system, and it controls your body's important functions of producing and secreting certain hormones. And with hyperthyroidism, you have an overactive thyroid, and that can include the conditions and symptoms such as you can experience some symptoms such as anxiety, fatigue, difficulty concentrating, frequent bowel movement, goiter, which is that enlarged nodules here where it can be swollen. You can experience hair loss, hand tremors, and have a heat intolerance, as well as some other things. So if you suffer from those, you may not even know. So that's why we have to pay attention and do a check on ourselves often, and getting our yearly checkups and exams. They do the tests for that. They check your thyroid. And if they don't, ask. When you go to the doctor, ask questions, folks. Ask, does this test, or when I come in for my checkup, are you checking for this? And if they don't, You want to ask specifically, let's check my calcium levels, just check my vitamin D levels, check my levels, check my thyroid, check everything out. Get your GYN done as often as you need to, as well as your mammograms. Okay, so that's what I wanted to say on that. So with hyperthyroidism, I got to talk really, really slow. You can experience those things, those symptoms that I just mentioned. And so with hypothyroidism, you can experience some tiredness. You're sensitive to the cold. You can experience weight gain as well as constipation, depression, slow movements and thoughts, muscle aches and weakness, and muscle cramps, as well as some more. But those are just some of the things. Okay, so if you're experiencing any of those things, please consult with your doctor, your medical professional, so that you can see what can be done or what they have to do to improve your condition. All right, so you may have to take the thyroid medicine. And some people, when they take that, you take it for the rest of your life. But hey, as long as you are able to maintain, that's why we want to do preventive care, right? And I go off for a second because that's why it's so important to take preventive care, preventive measures, and so that we can avoid some of these conditions. A lot of illnesses and disease can be avoided just by doing preventive care. And that's important. Your regular checkups, your diet, exercise, reducing your managing stress, right? That's why stress management is a thing, right? And many schools and even some in jobs, organizations are practicing and incorporating mindfulness in their environment and organizations because it's been proven to be successful with helping to reduce stress, right? So preventive measures is always the best thing. Okay, so I want to move on to the next thing, which is excessive exercise or weight loss, right? These are some of the things that can cause menstrual irregularities. All right, so intense exercise or extreme weight loss can impact hormone imbalance and cause irregular periods. So this condition is commonly seen, what they're saying, is in athletes as well as individuals with eating disorders. All right, so we want to make sure that we are not overexerting ourselves. All right, when it comes to exercise, it's okay to push yourself, but we don't want to do like so much intense exercise where we are. And I know it sounds kind of contradictory, right? Because you do have some people, and that's why that's why it's saying that this is particularly for athletes or people with individual eating disorders. And that's what I'm saying, because they go hard, they train all the time, right? So I can see where that would come in and play a role, right? So probably for people like us, it may not affect us too much, right? But the athletes who are on the workout, doing their workout thing, they spend plenty of time and hours doing this stuff daily. It's what they do. They live it, breathe it, and it's just who they are, right? So the next thing is what I'm going to move on to is obesity. All right. And with obesity, now you can experience significant being overweight, which can also being overweight, it can lead to hormonal imbalances, which can affect the menstrual cycle. Now, with obesity, what we already know, we talked about exercise, we talked about things like that. In order to, now that's why I'm saying, particularly if you are overweight, right? If you're overweight, and there's one thing with being a little overweight and being obese, okay? That's different. It's two different things. It's important to take good care and have great nutrition. That's important, as well as making sure that you avoid certain things that's going to impact your health. We know that carbs, sugar and carbs, right? or sugar and carbs. Uh, these things can cause a lot of weight gain, right? Gluten can cause weight gain. Uh, Wheat is different factors, right? It's different things. So that's why it's important for us to know our bodies and to really get to know our own individual bodies. And then try an elimination diet, right? Start out with an elimination diet, and always consult with your doctor before you do anything, right? I always have to put that disclaimer out there. But we can look into things of that nature that's going to help us to reduce the weight. Certain things that we eat is just going to cause us to gain weight, right? Certain foods we eat, a lot of carbs will have you gain weight. And so if you can lessen your carbs, and that's why a lot of people, some people do keto, right? Because it's low carbs, and there's certain things that you can eat. And some people find it very useful and helpful, and some people, they can't handle it. It's too much. So just do what you know you can do for yourself. And if you're having a hard time with that, you could always reach out to your dietitian or your health coach professional, right? Take it from there. All right, so perimenopause, that's when you're transitioning over before you experience and go into full menopause. As far as what I've been told, that perimenopause, you would have to experience a full year without a period to go into full-blown menopause. And so with your period fluctuating, it can cause those hormone levels to fluctuate and as it gradually decline. And so there are things that we can do for that, certain things that's in the body when it's time for the period to stop. We can experience different things, right? With the hot flashes, night sweats, and all of these different things. Well, I'm not there yet. Thank goodness. I don't want to. But these are some of the things that a person can experience. Now, fibroids is another thing, right? Uterine abnormalities, that is another one, right? Such as fibroids or even endometriosis, right? These things can disrupt the normal shedding of the uterine lining, that which can cause irregular periods. Okay, so these are some of the things that can cause menstrual irregularities. Again, a lot of these things go through, you can experience with these imbalances comes from these things as well as trauma. Okay, so that's another one that people can experience, trauma from the past, where it can cause irregular periods. And I know that just because the body is able to, what happens is some of the things that we experience, pain, health issues, it stems and from trauma. And so even though we are not consciously thinking about it, the body is impacted by it because it's in the subconscious. That's a little further than what I would like to go on that, because that's a whole topic in itself. And so just a quick touch on that. It's like someone who experienced certain ailments and they go to the doctor and they can't find anything wrong. They can't find anything wrong. They've ran tests, they check, everything turns out fine. What it is, it stems from trauma. And once they address that trauma and release it, those symptoms go away. All right. So that's another one. All right. So I think I covered pretty much everything. So let's do better. Let's do better with ourselves, with our bodies, with our mental, physical, and emotional well-being, as well as financial, right? Because how you do one thing is how you do everything. Let's take care of ourselves. Let's take care of our mind, body, and soul. Until next time, bye for now.
Like chronic pain, being held back by past traumas, or feeling overwhelmed and hopeless, please know there is hope. There is help. Transcendence, a woman's guide to healing and self-love for better health, happiness, and abundance, is a blueprint to help you get your life back and reclaim your health. Within its pages, you'll learn how to elevate your existence by shifting your mindset toward the positive, focusing your energy on what's really important, using gratitude to feel deep appreciation, changing your gene expression through epigenetics, building resilience, and living in a state of flow, feeling love overflow within. Go beyond an ordinary life. Transcend. Buy it now.
Thank you so much for listening to Health Coach for Women with your host, Marsha Roopchand Walker. If you've enjoyed this podcast, please be sure to rate, subscribe, and review on your preferred podcast listening platform. We really appreciate that effort. Until next time.